How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I know that picture is something else that y'all looking at. Yeah, it is true, real, and accurate. So, I know many have heard about the governor of Virginia, and now his wife then got herself in some deep shit. She seems to be fascinated with cotton. So, let me read this article, and I have 2 videos to show the royal family. Virginia First Lady's tone-deaf approach to teaching black students about slavery did not go over well. No, Pat Northam, role-playing is not how you educate black students about slavery. Virginia's First Lady, who is the wife of Governor Ralph Northam and who previously faced scrutiny for donning blackface, found herself in hot water for an extremely racist lesson while conducting a tour of the governor's mansion. The out-of-bounds history lesson took place on February 21st as Northam led a group of 20 8th graders who served as pages for Virginia State Senator around the mansion and attached building built by slaves in 1813, according to Huffington Post. As the students toured as the stewards toured what was formerly a kitchen, Northam handed out samples of tobacco and cotton to the students, 3 of them whom happened to be black, and asked them to imagine what it was like being a slave. No, she did not ask them to don costumes for the lesson, but that doesn't excuse anything. Apparently, the First Lady thought there was nothing better than hands-on approach to really bringing the lesson home. Wow. So as we go deeper, my royal family, let's go here first. So we know about all of this, you know. We've seen all the hyperbole around it. And first, he says, the governor of Virginia, that, he was apologetic, pretty much admitting that he was one or the other. Then, the next day, it isn't me. Go figure. Go figure. And I had said, if anybody remember, I was on Lisa's Hangout. I said his wife is orchestrating all of this. And karma caught up with her ass. Truly did. So let's watch the first video.
Earlier this month, as he tried to move beyond that controversy over a racist photo in his medical school yearbook. But now she's facing criticism this morning for actions construed as racially offensive. A Virginia State employee says that during a tour of the governor's mansion, Pam Northam gave her daughter and another black student balls of cotton before asking them to imagine being enslaved. This morning, the Virginia governor's mansion facing a new allegation of racial insensitivity. This time, it's First Lady Pam Northam who's under fire over an incident that allegedly took place during a tour of the executive mansion's old slave quarters. According to a letter obtained by the Richmond Times-Dispatch, Leah Walker, a Virginia State employee, says Mrs. Northam upset her 8th grade daughter. The young girl also detailing the episode in a separate letter, saying the First Lady handed cotton to her and another African-American child while asking them to, quote, imagine being an enslaved person. Walker's daughter describing it as beyond inappropriate, especially considering recent events with the governor. The letters were first reported by the Washington Post. Mrs. Northam telling NBC News, I have provided the same educational tour to Executive Mansion visitors over the last few months and used a variety of artifacts and agricultural crops with the intention of illustrating a painful period of Virginia history. I regret that I have upset anyone. Walker telling NBC News she's extremely disappointed in official responses that are as tone-deaf and insensitive as the initial bad act. All this as Pam Northam's husband, Governor Ralph Northam, continues to ignore calls for his resignation over that racist photo on his med school yearbook page. The governor did admit that he once darkened his skin to dress up like Michael Jackson for a dance contest. It was the First Lady who stopped him from showing off his skills during a freewheeling press conference.
Are you still able to move?
Inappropriate circumstances.
My wife says inappropriate circumstances.
It's just the latest controversy confronting Virginia's top elected leaders. The state's Attorney General, Mark Herring, trying to bounce back from his own blackface scandal, and Lieutenant Governor Justin Fairfax fighting 2 allegations of sexual assault. Now, a spokeswoman for Pam Northam denies that she singled out black students during that tour, and a state senator whose daughter was also on the tour says that cotton was handed out to everyone in the group. Now, the governor's office tells me that Pam Northam has reached out to Leah Walker and her daughter to apologize in person.
Okay, that's the end of that, and we're going to roll on with the next video. These people pathetic. Oh, they pathetic.
Of Governor Ralph Northam is under fire for a recent tour she gave to state Senate pages. During the tour, she allegedly handed pieces of cotton to the only 3 African-American students in the program. Remember, Virginia is already embroiled in major political drama over the alleged sexual conduct of its Lieutenant Governor, Justin Fairfax, on the left, and also racial scandals involving the governor, state attorney general, who have both admitted to wearing blackface in the past. The mom of one of the kids complained in a letter saying First Lady Pam Northam went on to ask the kids if they could imagine what it must be like to have picked cotton all day. Well, the governor's office disputed that only African American children were handed cotton, and in a statement, the First Lady said this, quote, "I have provided the same educational tour over the last few months and use a variety of agricultural crops with the intention of illustrating a painful period of Virginia history. I have regret that I have upset anyone." CNN's Victor Blackwell joins me now with more. Victor, obviously this is the last thing Virginia needs right now, and the fact that she is trying to explain it away is a little bizarre to me.
Yeah, if you consider that the state of Virginia started Black History Month with the blackface controversy, is now ending at one over picking cotton in reference to slavery. It's a rough month for the Northams. This apparently happened 1 week ago on the 21st of February when there was, as you said, this tour of the Virginia Governor's Mansion. First Lady Pam Northam was speaking in the kitchen cottage where slaves used to work. The Virginia Governor's Mansion has been used since in use, I should say, since the early 19th century, in which she handed the cotton out to those pages who are children, we should say. I mean, these are 8th and 9th graders, and asked them, as you said, could they imagine what it's like to pick cotton all day. Now, the mother who wrote that letter, Leah Doja Walker, she also is a state employee, director of the Virginia Office of Equity and Community Engagement. She wrote this letter to the governor's office, and I want to read a little more of it. She says that the governor and Mrs. Northam have asked the residents of the Commonwealth to forgive them for their racially insensitive past actions, but actions of Mrs. Northam last week do not lead me to believe that this governor's office has taken seriously the harm and hurt they've caused African Americans in Virginia, or that they are deserving of our forgiveness. Why is she so passionate? Because her daughter, an 8th grader, was one of those 3 African Americans who was handed the cotton. Now, the governor's office says that no one was singled out. They did not just hand cotton to the 3 black pages. In addition to what the governor's wife, Pam Northam, said there, she says that she will continue to use the natural resources to teach visitors about the kitchen cottage, but she's going to consult with historians and educators on the best way to do that.
Okay, that's the end of that. Ouch. I mean, straight out.
Otto Warmbier's parents have just responded to President Trump after he chose.
Excuse me for that. That is just outright ouch. Ouch, ouch. After all of that, she says she going to continue to do her evil deeds. And I did some digging, my royal family. You know, I'm famous for doing the digging. That's just what I do. You know, you see the thumbnail. Ain't it sweet? So, I already knew about this. Last Halloween, Governor Ralph, well, the governor of Virginia, let's just say the governor of Virginia, he dressed as a slave master. So I got to thinking, y'all know I'm unfiltered. I said, I guess him and his wife, you know, they be having some fantasies and some role playing and whatever they doing up in that mansion. Oh, they very fascinated. You know, they real fascinated. You know, let your imagination just go there and stuff. And that further gives us a mindset on how these people get down. And then they act like it's also innocent. And so his wife, you know, she seems to be very fascinated with bales of cotton. She's quite proud of her position. So, she feel like she's really doing something. I said this a long time ago on my first channel. I said I will not ever go to a plantation. And some people are fascinated with that. I'm not fascinated with the depths and levels of our pain. They need to burn all them motherfuckers down. You know, they even got it. I've looked online where they even got up slave quarters. But you got somebody wicked like her and her husband, and they just fascinated with all of this stuff. But it really speaks deep about the core of them. They really need to fucking leave. They really need to fucking step down. Because, her husband is on some type of tour, to apologize. And I'm like, well, why would you apologize if you say it wasn't me? That's your guilty conscience. And, your wife is orchestrating things behind the scene, and then she got caught up in her, unquote, shit. It is what it is, my royal family. Look at her. Ain't she something else? Why don't you take your ass out there and go pick some motherfucking cotton? See, my royal family, we must remove our royal babies up out of these schools. These people are dangerous. They're very dangerous. And they act like it is very innocent. It ain't innocent at all. I'm going to leave it right there, my royal family. So, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.